we're cheering on the Pens. 50 years ago at this time, Pittsburghers were cheering on another championship team. Here to tell us what that team is and about its star player is Heinz History Center President and CEO Andy Masich in today's Pittsburgh History Today segment. Good morning.
Good morning.
This is really fascinating because I think that there are a lot of teams that came through Pittsburgh and just didn't stick, and this is one of them that I had no idea about.
Pittsburgh is known as the city of champions,
right.
and we love our Penguins, and we love our Pirates and our Steelers, but who knew that Pittsburgh won a national basketball championship 50 years ago in 1968, and it was the Pittsburgh Pipers who won it.
I had no idea. Pipers?
What? Where did that come from? You know, Pittsburgh's Scottish heritage, I think, influenced the name, the Pittsburgh Pipers. They played for only 3 seasons here in Pittsburgh, but the very first season in 1967-68, Pittsburgh went all the way.
Really?
It was an expansion league, the ABA, the American Basketball Association, competing with the NBA, the National Basketball Association, and other cities wanted to get involved in basketball, and Pittsburgh was one of them. So they said, let's start our own league. And 11 teams came together. They had wacky names like the Minnesota Muskies and the New Orleans Buccaneers, and they played, but Pittsburgh had Connie Hawkins.
And tell us about the Hawk.
The Hawk. This guy has a wingspan of 6 feet 8 inches. He was enormous. He was a power forward, and he played basketball on the streets of New York. He was a legend as a boy. He got kicked out of college at the University of Iowa because of a point shaving, a gambling scandal, which he wasn't involved in any way, but he was tarred with that brush, and the NBA wouldn't draft him. So he came to Pittsburgh and played for the Pittsburgh Pipers and showed the world that he was maybe the best player in America at that time.
So what else was going on at that time when they're winning this championship? Because the Steelers weren't doing so hot at that point.
The Steelers were called the lovable losers in the mid-1960s. And the Pirates hadn't won a national championship for 8 years. You know, people still remembered 1960 when they beat the New York Yankees. But so Pittsburgh was kind of in this in-between dry spell. And then the Pittsburgh Pipers come on the scene. And people went to the Civic Arena, the Igloo, where the Penguins played, and they didn't come in huge numbers, and that was part of the problem. Even at a playoff game, the seats were empty.
Yeah.
There were 8,000 people in a 12,000-seat auditorium, and that was the best they had ever done. Usually the games would be attended by 3,000 or 4,000 people.
So that's primarily why they moved out of Pittsburgh.
Yeah, they did. They moved to Minnesota and became the Minnesota Pipers. What was that all about? Then they said, that's not working. They came back to Pittsburgh, and then the team owner said, we need to have a naming contest and get a better name than the Pittsburgh Pipers. That stinks. So they had a contest, and someone submitted Pittsburgh Pioneers. Well, Point Park called their team the Pioneers. So Point Park threatened to sue the Pittsburgh Pipers if they used that name. And the Pipers said, okay, we'll call ourselves the Condors. How about the Condors? And they played as the Condors for 1 season and then
fell flat.
Yep.
Well, I think this is really neat. There is so much rich history in our area and with our sports teams, and there's a great area in the Heinz History Center. Can you tell us more about the memorabilia that's up there?
You know, at the History Center, we have the Western Pennsylvania Sports Museum. It's a 20,000 square foot museum within a museum, and there's one section devoted to Connie Hawkins and the Pittsburgh Pipers and basketball. But we also have the Penguins section, Steelers section, and the Pirates section, and amateur athletics as well. One of the things about the ABA is that they were flashy. They had a red, white, and blue ball. They dunked with great style, flashy passes and dribbling. Julius Erving, Dr. J, played in the NBA. So the ABA. And so when the ABA and the NBA merged in 1976, the NBA was changed forever because of some of these players and the style that came with the ABA.
So what happened to the Hawk after the team kind of crumbled?
The Hawk went to Phoenix and played for the Phoenix Suns. They retired his number. He was great there, but he had knee injuries early in his career that plagued him, and finally he had to quit. He died just last year,
really?
in 2017.
And I understand he got some sort of settlement too from what happened when he was in college.
That's right. People realized that he had been cheated out of the best years of his career.
Right.
So when he came into the NBA after the ABA merged, they gave him a $1.3 million settlement, and that helped make up for those lost years.
Those lost years. Thank you so much, Andy. And you can come see the Pittsburgh Pipers and other area teams and sports memorabilia on display at the Heinz History Center on Smallman Street in the Strip. And watch for more Pittsburgh history today here on PTL when Andy joins us as a regular guest.